Hello, ladies and gents. I hope that this video finds you in a place of health and spirit. Today, we are going to talk about how to send 5,000 WhatsApp messages without getting banned. And we already know that, people who want to send WhatsApp campaigns, the problem that they are facing most of the time is that their WhatsApp number get banned or suspended. And today, we are going to see, why this happens as well as how can we solve it. Okay, so first of all, let's start with why people or WhatsApp numbers get banned when sending a WhatsApp campaign. So we are going to consider many reasons. One of them is messaging people without permission, no opt-in. So this is for people who does not start with sending the first messages, such as would you like me to receive, or would you like to receive notifications about the latest offers and sales. And here you have to give them the options, like for example, yes, opt me in, no, opt me out. Okay, sending messages to user who never interacted with your business, can lead to permanent number or WhatsApp number suspension. That's why you have to really take into account the fact that you have always, to let people know or give the people the permission to opt in or out from your, WhatsApp campaigns. Okay, that's the first reason. Not opt in or sending WhatsApp campaign to people who are not opt in. Second thing is high block rate, which is obvious. So when many recipient press block after receiving your message, WhatsApp monitors the ratio of blocks that you receive for every message or every campaign, and the more blocks you have, the higher the chance your account is going to be suspended. A high block rate signals that recipient did not want these messages. Again, let's back to the first opt-in option, because all of these parameters are related together. So that's the first reason. The second reason, the third reason is the high report rate, and it's probably the same as the block rate. So whenever you get a lot of reports, um, WhatsApp or Meta will suspend your number. Again, sending too many messages too soon. So basically, sending a lot of messages is not a big deal, by the way, because you have daily limits, and even though your, for example, daily limit is 1,000 a day, even though you send probably one or 500 thousand message a day, only 1,000 messages are going to be sent. That's why um, too many messages are not the problem, but too soon, that's the problem, because sending thousands of messages in a short time of period, always leads to account suspension. Besides, sudden spikes in message volume from a new or inactive numbers, you know what I'm saying, which is obvious behavior that looks like an automated bulk blasting. Okay, because so it's basically normal to send automated messages, but just don't look and sound like this is 100% automated, because that's the problem. All right, let's move on to the next thing, which is the low engagement signals, which means whenever you send a campaign, there is nobody interacting with you, you know what I mean, nobody is engaging with your content, for example, liking it, reacting to it, replying and so on. That's a big issue, that's a big L, by the way. Another thing is sending identical broadcast messages. For example, you are sending the same exact message to, for example, thousands of contact. That's wrong. For example, this need a draw here. Give me a minute, please. For example, let's say you have 10. So that's 10,000. Oh, sorry. Let's say that's okay. Here you have 10,000 contacts, right? And you want to send them one message. That's wrong. All you have to do is take that 1,000 messages, right? And divide the messages into, for example, five or four messages. And you have to segment these 10,000, um, you know, customers and send, for example, 6 or 7 campaigns, and each campaign contain a different message, but all the messages serve the same purpose, which is, for example, sell. So that's pretty much it concerning this point. Let's go back to what we left. Sending identical uh, WhatsApp campaigns. Number, like new number, send a large campaign immediately. That's a big problem. If you purchase a new WhatsApp number, don't start sending bulky messages at once. No, you have to go slowly, and also start warming up your WhatsApp number, because every WhatsApp number should be warmed up before start utilizing it for blasting bulk campaign. Okay, that's the point. Last but not least, always utilize official tools, official platforms, and always when it comes to WhatsApp, always make sure that the tool that you are utilizing is one of the partners of Meta. Okay, because no partner of Meta is able to utilize what it's called WhatsApp API. You know what I mean? So that's why you have to always make sure that you are subscribing or utilizing only the tools that are Meta partner. Okay, and to make sure that this service is a Meta partner or not, there is a website probably called Meta Partners. You can go there, and also you can type in the name of that tool that you are utilizing, so that you can know whether that tool is Meta partner or not. So that's when it comes to the first section. Now let's move on. So here we saw why WhatsApp numbers or people get banned when sending a WhatsApp campaign. Now we are going to see how WhatsApp actually detects spam campaigns. Okay, so this is very important. First thing is user feedback signals, and this is where you have to really really pay a lot attention to your blogs, reports, and stuff like this, because the feedback signals here are the reports. You know what I mean? So you have to send a campaign that people will not report or block you for, so that your feedback can be good, so that you can pay, or you can pass this section. Okay, second thing is the message pattern detection. So basically every message, right? So let's talk about spammers here, because spammers have a specific pattern message. For example, you start with hey, then messages, then link, then messages, then link, then a video, something like this. If you duplicate the same content, not content, but the same pattern, right? Your WhatsApp number is going to be blocked, or is going to be suspended immediately. Okay, so that's why Meta uses message pattern detection to detect the spammers, and not use a lot of energy into spamming, or into detecting and blocking those spammers. Message similarity analytics. So that's back to when you send a lot of messages, or the same message to a lot of people, or do spammers have you right as a spammer. You know what I'm saying? So basically the innate of this section is that you're right, like a spammer, always sound natural, always be natural. Okay, let's move on to the next step, which is the account reputation system. Every account has a reputation, like every WhatsApp number, that's what I'm talking about, has a reputation. So when the number is brand new, right, it's always 100%. And once you start utilizing it, doing stuff, you lose 10% here, you gain 10% here, and stuff like this. So always make sure that your account reputation system is always high. Okay, so that your number cannot be jeopardized. Okay, last but not least, sudden behavior changes. And this is important, because I see that in a lot of people, they be like, I'm using everything correctly, I'm I'm working legally, I'm using everything like in illegal ways and stuff like this. But they don't know that like if you have so let me explain this. So every number or every WhatsApp number has a pattern, right? For example, in the last 6 months, for example, this was your number pattern. You send a lot of messages, you cool down. You send a lot of messages, you cool down, and then you calm down. You send, you calm, you send. So this is your pattern, right? And if you came one day, or if one day came, right, and you start following the same pattern, right? For example, you're all good, but then all of a sudden you start doing something like outrageous. You know what I'm saying? Like something odd. Okay, 100% here. Like the Meta robots is going to detect this unusual activity and your WhatsApp number. I'm not telling you that your WhatsApp number is going to 100% like penalized, but I'm saying that like it will be soon suspended. Because this is an unusual activity. So this was it, and now let's move on to the last step that we have here, which is this one. Okay, sudden behavior change. We've seen that. Now let's move on to the safe architecture for sending large WhatsApp campaign without any problem. The first one is customer data layer. What I mean here is that always send campaign to your customers only. Never send a campaign to um to a list of people that you purchased from the internet or stuff like this. No, you have to have customers so that Meta can track them. You know what I'm saying? For example, so that Meta can know that this customer that you are sending a message to already sent you a message or have a conversation with you, order something from you or stuff and stuff like this. So always send to customers only. Send to people who already did an interaction with your business. Okay, second thing is the audience segmentation. Here you have to always segmentate or segment your customers into segments. For example, these are the delivered customer, these are the return customer, these are the high paying customer and stuff like this, so that you can never mix between every segment. Always send a campaign to a specific 100% segment. Don't send a campaign to everybody. No, always select a very, 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 very niche and very narrowed down segment and send an email to it. Never send a bulk email to a lot of people that are mixed at once. Okay. Third thing is that the smart message distribution always, and we have already mentioned that. What I'm talking about here is that always utilize different messages for different people. For example, if you have 10,000 people, don't send them the same message. Always utilize different messages, different way of talking and stuff like this, link images, greetings and so on. Okay, let's move on to the next step, which is the engagement monitoring. Always make sure that you are monitoring your engagement, replay rate, block rate, and stuff like this, the message rate. And by doing so, you are going to minimize the risk of getting your account or WhatsApp number suspended. Okay. Also, you have to always, and this is very, very important. So if I was you, I was like, I would choose this section as the most important section of this entire video, which is the conversion oriented messaging. What I mean here is that never send the marketing messages, always send conversational messages, always send a campaign that if your customers read that campaign, they will reply to you because it sounds like a conversation. It sounds more like, hi there, how is it going? I hope all is well. How is your mother? Something like this. You know what I mean? So I'm not talking about your business. I'm talking about the personal message that should be, because this type of messages helps you have good replies. People start asking you a question good engagement rate, interaction and stuff like this. So this is the most important thing. And this is not only is going to help you to keep your number, but also it's going to help you to convert even more people. Second thing, which is the message personalization, and this is clear always like personalize your messages, always use like phone numbers, names, last names, stuff like this. And last but not least, and this is the most important thing as well, which is always utilize the tools that have 100% official, like official meta partner. And I already gave you like the way by which you can check if that tool has or is a meta partner or not, because a lot of people or a lot of tools are saying this, they're saying that we are meta partner, but in reality they are not meta partner. So this was our video for today. If you have any question, let them down in the comment section, and see you soon, guys.